for your chaos. Perhaps I can be open to it.
Spinning and spin.
Night, Michaela kept me up until midnight.
Your guest.
It is a funeral. It is not morbid, it is... I was simply trying to help you find a companion.
Francesca, you do not know me, so please.
Yes, so basically Bridgerton season 4 part 2 is finally here. I haven't done a review on them because I was waiting for part 2. So season 4 focus on the Bohemian's second son, Benedict. He becomes captivated by a mysterious lady in this case Silver, at the Masquerade Ball after discovering she is Sophia Bahik, a maid working for a demanding household. But before we get into further details and discuss the relationship between the two ladies, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. To be honest, I've been waiting for the whole season in order to do a full review, because I was seeing it going around a lot about Francesca and Michaela, Francesca and Michaela. And I was like, hey, it's finally time. Part 2 is out. Let me go ahead and let me go watch, let me go support to see what it's really giving and if it's worth all the hype that has been going around. So the two first meet in season 3 finale at a ball. Francesca is visibly, fractured and even forgets her own name, hinting an attraction towards Michaela because of how they met and the encounter that they met. If you guys don't know, Michaela in this case is the cousin of John, who is Francesca's husband, who she loves a lot. So when they first met, a lot of people already started to ship them and be like, oh, okay, something is happening, something's happening, something's happening. But obviously that was about it, that's what we got from them in season 3. Early in season 4, Francesca and John are living, together and happily married. But everything changes with the arrival of Michaela as she comes to visit her cousin and to spend some quality time with him. Because according to Michaela, she was missing her cousin and her cousin is the closest person to her. And she felt like she haven't been seeing him for quite a while. And, she just wants to make sure that he is okay, that he's happy, that he's well taken care of. In this case, from his wife, Francesca. So that's basically how she came in the picture for season 4, basically just genuinely going to visit her cousin and to make sure everything is okay with him. And at the beginning, you can see that Francesca, she wasn't really happy with the arrival of Michaela because she started to see John, her husband, spend less time with her and more time with her cousin. After that, her and her husband, they had a conversation, and obviously in this case Michaela, she was just trying to be there for her cousin, also very very protected over him. But obviously Francesca is his wife, so she gets the last say and she has the house word in this case. So later on she starts to throw this party and there comes a guy that wants to meet in this case Michaela. Francesca tries to put Michaela with him, and obviously Michaela, she got super upset because she felt like Francesca is not respecting her boundaries, especially after John told Francesca not to put in this case Michaela up with nobody. She still went behind his back and did it. That definitely upset Michaela, and also it did upset her husband as well. But later on she apologized and the two could figure things out, and they have decided to try and just to bond and just to be good with each other and be mutual with each other, also for the love that they have for John, and they don't want to make things more difficult in the household as they are staying together for a while. So as episodes go, episodes come, you can see that, in this case, Michaela and Francesca, they start to create a very strong bond together and just, basically, enjoying time together, going to balls, parties, balls, and just spending a lot of quality time with John as well together, as them three together. So that was very beautiful. They just started to get closer and closer, and John, Francesca's husband, in this case, Michaela's cousin, he was super happy to see that the two was getting along. But things didn't last very long because very 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 surprisingly we can see that Francesca's husband John, in this case Michaela's cousin, he ends up passing away, and that left everybody grieving. You can just see how difficult it was for Francesca. She felt very disappointed as a wife that she couldn't fulfill her duties and give her husband a child before his passing. His passing was very sudden. Nobody knew that he was even sick or going through something, a health issue. So the fact that he passed away so suddenly, definitely left a big, hole in both of the ladies' heart, including, Michaela, because her cousin is the person who she loves the most. And now that he's not there, it's very, very difficult for her to cope as well. So in Michaela's, point of view, she wants her cousin's life to be celebrated, you know, by throwing a ball and by not making his passing so sad. On the other hand, we have Francesca, his wife, who doesn't want to have a ball. He wants his memory to be respected and conserved. So they have kind of different views on how to go about grieving, you know. So later on, Francesca ends up agreeing with Michaela, and they have decided to do like a memory ball in memory of John, and that went very very well. It was also a very big relief for Francesca, because she felt like she needed it, because it was very hard for her, especially the beginning days, because she had to go through a lot in order, you know, to grieve and to figure out what is after her husband passing, you know. So Michaela was there for her, stuck to her through it all, while she was also grieving, while she was also going through her emotions at the moment, while she was also trying to make sense of this new reality, knowing that her favorite person also isn't around anymore. So more of the story at this point, both of them were just basically grieving with one another. And then you can see there came a moment in the last episode, episode 8. You can see that in this case, Francesca basically had this very deep conversation with Michaela, and she asked Michaela to stay around, not to leave. She doesn't want, you know, to do this by herself. It's very hard for her. She doesn't have nobody there to support her that understands her the way Michaela understands her, and that, you know, she wants Michaela to stay with her, you know. And obviously at the beginning, you can see that Michaela, she had accepted the proposal, but later on, there was a moment where Francesca basically holds Michaela's hand, and you can just feel the tension in Michaela. I feel like that was the moment that she ends up realizing that in this case she has feelings for Francesca, and to respect, you know, her cousin, and to not allow her to give into that feeling, she have decided to remove herself from the house and basically leave without telling, in this case, how can we say, Francesca, about her decision. And I do feel like she wanted to stay, but I do also feel like she realized that she has feelings for Francesca, and that she didn't want to disrespect the memories of her cousin, especially also her not knowing how Francesca will take, you know, that, you know, knowing that, you know, she has feelings for her. Because I do feel like at the moment this feelings is one-sided. I can say that yes, Michaela has feelings for Francesca, but I don't see Francesca having yet feelings for Michaela, because like I said, she's still grieving, you know, the loss of the man that she loved, you know. So hopefully in season 5 we will get more of them. Hopefully in season 5 we will understand more. Hopefully in season 5 Francesca will develop, you know, romantic feelings towards Michaela, because even though we didn't see them, you know, together, which makes sense, you know, it just didn't make sense for them to get together at this moment. We can see that Michaela definitely realized that she had feelings for Francesca, and to respect, like I already said, the memories of her cousin, and to not fear on how, in this case, Francesca will react also, and also to preserve herself, you know, from getting heartbroken, or, you know, just doing anything that she might not be 100% certain of. She had decided to remove herself. So that's basically where their, you know, story left off, you know. Obviously, Francesca, she was surprised by the decision because they didn't saw it coming. But at the end of the day, Michaela, she did what she needed to do for herself. This one is available to watch on Netflix. It has 4 seasons available, and yes, it has 8 episodes. So I will highly recommend you also go watch, go support. So that's basically it. Until the next video, and goodbye.